everyone, welcome back to botany class. Last video we discussed about mutation and genetic code, and then we discussed the structure of tRNA molecule. And in this video we are going to see the process of protein synthesis. The process of protein synthesis is also called as translation. And what is that? The translation? It refers to the polymerization of amino acid to form polypeptide. Polymerization of amino acid to form polypeptide, right? The polypeptide also you can say it protein molecule also, because this polypeptide, if it is made up of more number of amino acid, that polypeptide we can call it as proteins also. So polypeptide also we are calling as proteins, right? More number of amino acids. But these proteins are, which are made up of, or polypeptide, these proteins are made up of 20 different type of amino acids. 20 different type of amino acid. And each and every protein which found inside the cell or within organism, and all protein they are having some specific function. And the specific function of the particular protein is decided by the order and arrangement of the amino acid sequence. But when protein are synthesized, the order and sequence of amino acid are defined by the sequence of DNA or mRNA molecule, right? Actually, for example, take example, and here I am taking two examples. The protein enzyme, one is the amylase. Another enzyme we can take protease. Protease enzyme is there. But these are the chemically, these both amino acids are protein nature. They are made up of only amino acid. But this enzyme, the function is it hydrolyzes only starch, not other molecule. The protease and the only hydrolyzes only protein. Why this particular enzyme hydrolyzing starch alone and this particular enzyme only hydrolyzing protein alone? Like, so all enzymes they are having unique function. The particular or specific function of the particular protein is decided by which one decided now, but all are made up of only these 20 different. So, but the order and the order and arrangement of this amino acid sequence which decide the function of the particular protein. So, but this order and sequence of amino acid are defined by a particular protein by sequence of bases in the DNA or mRNA molecule. Okay, so that translation you can say is a RNA directed synthesis of and synthesis of polypeptide or protein. RNA directed synthesis of polypeptide protein. The process of this translation process, it requires all types of rRNA and ribosome. All type of rRNA and ribosome, right? And next we will see what is the site for this translation. See the site of the translation process. In prokaryote, the site of translation is cytosol, where the protein are synthesized. A translation occurs the process will occur in cytoplasm. But whereas in eukaryote, the site of translation is rough endoplasmic reticulum. Similarly, in eukaryote, the main proteins are the cellular proteins are synthesized by only rough endoplasmic reticulum. But whereas the organelle protein like chloroplast and mitochondria, they are having its own machinery. These organelle they can synthesize their own protein. But the remaining most of the enzyme and structural proteins are synthesized by rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and we will see the process require all types of RNA molecule. All types of RNA. So all types of RNA, and also the process require ribosome. So the ribosome considered as a cellular factory which is responsible for synthesis of protein is ribosomes. So first, but the process require all types of rRNA and also ribosomes. Ribosomes. So many ribosomes are involved. But here all types like mRNA. So mRNA, all RNA they are having some role. So tRNA and another one is rRNA. But here what is the role of this all type of rRNA? mRNA provide the template for this synthesis of the protein molecule. The mRNA here acts as a template for the process of translation because the nucleotide sequence of mRNA only translated into amino acid sequence of protein. So that for translation, the mRNA molecule acts as a template. But tRNA, the role of tRNA which bring amino acid from cytoplasm to the site of protein synthesis. And also not only bringing, and also which read the genetic code of mRNA. Whatever the triplet codons are found in mRNA, that is read by tRNA molecule. Are you clear with this? And rRNA play structural as well as catalytic role during translation. Are you clear with this? So the mRNA only is a provide template for the synthesis of protein because the genetic code, whatever the nucleotide base present in mRNA so further used to copy or synthesis or translated into amino acid sequence of protein. But tRNA role is that tRNA has two major roles. One is which bring amino acid from cytoplasm to the site of protein synthesis. Another one we can say another role is which read the genetic code which are found in the which read the nucleotides triplets of mRNA molecule. And rRNA play structural and a catalytic role during translocation. Okay, this is a site. Okay, see here one eukaryotic cell is there here. Eukaryotic cells. Here nucleus is there. And surface of the nucleus only, the extension of nucleus only, the endoplasmic reticulum is there. Here only the ribosomes are attached, right? So the site of protein synthesis are this ribosome. But amino acids are present only in cytoplasm. These amino acids are found in the form of inactive stage. So inactive stage. And before translation, these amino acids are get activated and from here they are transported to the site of protein synthesis. Who will transport now? That is transported by tRNA molecule. And the rRNA which provides structure for the synthesis of the protein. And also the translation process is catalyzed by that rRNA. So rRNA only. That's why we are saying that RNA has structural as well as the catalytic role in translation process. Are you clear with this? So next we will see the ribosome. So ribosomes considered as the ribosome considered as a cellular factory and responsible for synthesis of protein. But ribosomes there are ribosome in our cells it's contain different type of rRNA plus different type of protein. Mainly 80 different type of proteins are found in ribosomes. Ribosomes consist of different type of structural rRNA. So ribosomal RNA and 80 different protein. About 80 different proteins are found in that one. This ribosome consists of two subunits, right? Two subunits. So two subunits are there. Subunits. So the size of prokaryotic ribosome is 70S and eukaryotic one is 80S. But 70S consists of large subunit and small. Large subunit is 50S, small subunit is 30S. Similarly, eukaryotic ribosome, large subunit and small subunit. This is 60S and this one is 40S. So this small subunit, okay. So this ribosome, it exists two subunit, large subunit and small subunit. Actually, these subunits before these ribosomes are found and freely in the cytoplasm. But when they are present in cytoplasm, they are present in inactive form. And also, the small subunit and large subunits they are present separately. The time of proteins in this only, the small subunit first go and bind, and then large subunit will bind, and they form complete ribosomal complex. Are you clear with this? These ribosomes, where they are found? But where they are found na cytoplasm. But small subunit and large subunit, they are present separately, but inactive stage. At the time of proteins in this only, these two subunits go and they go and bind with the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they form the complete ribosomal complex before beginning of translation process. But these are essentially required by the translation process, right? All type of rRNA and ribosomes. All type of rRNA and ribosomes, right? Next we will see in ribosomes. I told here there are two subunits are there, right? Two subunits are there. But ribosome, the ribosome has different sites for binding up with mRNA and tRNA and also amino acid. That sites, what are the sites we will say na? EPA site. EPA sites. Like you see here, the small subunit, this one, and another one is large subunit. Eukaryote, the large subunit size is 60S, whereas small subunit is 40S. But this ribosome has the binding sites for two charged tRNA molecule at a time. So one is, you can say, P site. One is P site. Another one is A site. P site na peptide binding site. And A site is the amino acyl site. Yes, P site na peptide site. A site meaning is amino acyl site. The P sites on the it's a site for binding of tRNA with the peptide. Site for binding of tRNA with the peptide. And A site is site for binding of tRNA. So that's amino acylated tRNA or charged tRNA. Like this, there are two sites are there in large subunit of so that particular one. And these two sites are found in the small subunit as well as large subunit. In small subunit, these two sites that P and A sites, they interact with the mRNA, and while the protein synthesis occurs in PA sites of large subunit. Okay, here also P sites and A sites are there. So these sites interact with mRNA molecule. Here interact with mRNA, but whereas the site P and A site in large subunit, they can involve in the synthesis of protein molecule. Are you clear with this? So P side na peptidyl site, A side is amino acyl site. P side is it's a binding site for tRNA with the peptide. A side is it's a binding site for charged tRNA. The charged tRNA also called as amino acylated tRNA molecule. In addition to this both sites are found in small subunit as well as large subunit. In addition to this, the ribosome has another one site. The site name is called E site. So E site na it's an exit site. It's a site of ribosome where the E site of ribosome is. It is a E site, you can solve the exit site of the ribosome. Through this site, the deacylated tRNA or the tRNA after transferring amino acid to the peptide formation, so deloaded from that are exited through that particular site. That site we are saying that E site, right? So these are the different sites found in the ribosome molecule. Ribosome. So next we will see the process of transcription. The transcription process is completed. The whole process is completed. Or we will see what are the steps involved in translation process. Translation process. The main steps of translations are: one is activation of amino acid. So activation of amino acid. AAS meaning is amino acid. First step is activation of amino acid, and second step is charging of amino acid. Activation of amino acid. Second step is charging of amino acid. And the third step is the formation of polypeptide chain. Formation of polypeptide chain or formation of protein, polypeptide chain. But the formation of polypeptide chain is completed in 3 major steps. Initiation, elongation, termination. So we'll see the main steps of translation on this. The translation process begins with activation of amino acids. Next, activation of amino acids. Second step is charging of tRNA. The charging of tRNA also called as amino acylation of tRNA. Amino acylation of tRNA. Third step is formation of polypeptide. But this formation of polypeptide, the process will complete in further three steps: initiation, elongation, and termination. But in this process, the different protein factor, for the initiation and elongation and termination, different protein factors are involved. The protein factor together you can call it as initiation factor, and here we can call it as elongation factor, and here you can call it as termination factors. Okay, we will see what are the different type of initiation, elongation, and termination factors are involved in the process of translation. Okay, first we will start with activation of amino acid, right? First we will start with activation of amino acid. Whereas the amino acids are found in cytoplasm, but they are found in dormant stage. They are nothing but inactive stage. So this dormant or inactive form of amino acids need to be activated before translation process. Then only they can take part in the translation. We'll see the activation of amino acids, how the amino acids are activated. So these amino acids are activated or charged. So in the presence of enzyme, amino acid tRNA synthetase and ATP. So with the presence of this enzyme and ATP, these amino acids are activated. That is, you can say activation of amino acid, charging of amino acid, right? You see here, so amino acid is there, amino acid 1, the presence of amino acid 1, the presence of ATP, so ATP, and the presence of enzyme here. So what is the name of enzyme? So amino acid tRNA synthetase. The enzyme name is called amino acid tRNA synthase or synthetase. Both are same only. The presence of this enzyme, and this enzyme require magnesium ions Mg2+. And how these amino acids are activated now, like you see, amino acid and enzyme complex. So enzyme complex plus AMP, not plus. So these are joined now. Amino acid, AMP and enzyme complex. Enzyme complex plus, so here adenosine monophosphate is there. This ATP broken down and yield, so PPI. Now we can say here, these amino acids are now activated. Amino acid 1, presence of ATP, presence of enzyme, amino acid tRNA synthetase. Amino acid tRNA synthesis. Further, this amino acid 1 is converted to amino acid AMP and enzyme complex. Look at enzyme complex. Like that, the amino acids are first get activated. So next step is, are you clear with this? Next step is charging of tRNA molecule. So once the amino acids are get activated, and then the tRNA charged with corresponding amino acid, charging of T or Na, charging of tRNA. So this amino acid AMP and E1 complex then react with specific tRNA molecule, specific tRNA. For example, if it is phenylalanine amino acid gets activated, the specific tRNA is tRNA with anticodon. Like for this phenylalanine codon is UUE. tRNA here what anticodon is there na? AAA. So this amino acid, activated amino acid, then react with its specific tRNA molecule. So that now the amino acids are transferred to the tRNA, 3' end of the tRNA with the help of enzyme amino acid tRNA synthetase. The process name is also called as amino acylation of tRNA. So the charging of tRNA also called as amino acylation of tRNA. Amino acylation of tRNA. Charging or amino acylation of tRNA. Okay, see here. The amino acids are there. Amino acid 1 and AMP and enzyme complex, right? In previous step we discussed it. This is an activated amino acid. And these activated amino acids, the presence of tRNA. So further it's added to, okay, see here the tRNA is added to, so amino acid tRNA. Now transfer to tRNA plus the AMP will come out plus enzyme complex also will come out. So now we can say this amino acid is charged with tRNA is now charged with amino acid. So this process we are calling as charging of tRNA or amino acylation of. Are you clear with this? So in previous step the amino acids are activated. Now the activated amino acids are transferred to their respective or specific tRNA molecule, like amino acid, AMP, enzyme complex plus tRNA. Now the amino acid added to the 3' end of the tRNA and AMP plus enzyme complex will come out, right? Now charging of tRNA also over. So next step is formation of polypeptide. Formation of polypeptide. So in that the formation of polypeptide, the process is completed in 3 major steps, right? Initiation, polypeptide chain initiation, elongation and termination. We will see first step is initiation, polypeptide. So initiation, how it is initiated, right? But chain initiation requires some group of protein factor. The protein factor together we can call it as initiation factor, IFS. In prokaryote, so there are 3 initiation factors are involved. Prokaryote, 3 initiation factors are involved. Whereas eukaryote totally 9 initiation factors are involved. 9 initiation factor. For initiation of synthesis of polypeptide chain, the cell requires group of protein factor. The protein factor together we are calling as initiation factor. Abbreviated form is IFS. In prokaryote, it requires 3 initiation factors, and whereas eukaryote 9 initiation factors are required. So how the chain is initiated? Now you see, first the ribosome here, first the ribosome will bind and they form initiation complex, right? First step is in initiation, the binding of mRNA with a small subunit of ribosomes. So binding of mRNA, first step is here. So binding of mRNA with small subunit of ribosomes. Ribosome. In prokaryotic, the small subunit is 30S, whereas eukaryote the small subunit is 40S, and they form ribosome and small mRNA, small subunit and mRNA complex, right? You see here, in prokaryote, the 30S subunit plus mRNA. mRNA is a template for synthesis of protein. So 30S mRNA, and further they form 30S and mRNA complex. mRNA complex. Similarly, in eukaryote na 40S plus mRNA and form 40S mRNA complex. 40S mRNA complex. First, the small subunit of ribosome, they go bind with the mRNA, the template for translation process, and they form the small subunit and mRNA complex. After binding of 30S mRNA, so after formation of the small subunit and mRNA complex like 30S mRNA or 40S in eukaryote, then the tRNA will bind. So the next step is binding of this 30S and the mRNA complex with activated or charged tRNA. So 30S or 40S mRNA complex binding up with charged tRNA. Charged tRNA. So in previous step we studied how the tRNA is activated or charged, right? Now you can see here in prokaryote first 30S mRNA plus here actually in prokaryote the type of the tRNA is a formulated methionine tRNA. So formulated tRNA is attached with the 30S mRNA complex, and whereas eukaryote it is a non-formulated one. So that's why you see that tRNA, this is initiator tRNA which carry methionine amino acid. This one is F-meth na formulated tRNA. 30S mRNA plus formulated tRNA together they form and they will join and form 30S mRNA and tRNA, formulated tRNA, right? So the tRNA with anticodon, because starting codon is AUG. AUG always code for methionine amino acid. This tRNA with methionine amino acid act as a initiator tRNA molecule or starting tRNA molecule. In prokaryote, the starting tRNA molecule is a formulated one because the tRNA carry formulated methionine. That's why we are saying the F-meth tRNA. Whereas in eukaryote, so that methionine is non-formulated, so that the tRNA can call it as so only methylated tRNA alone. So after formation of the small subunit mRNA complex, then the small subunit mRNA complex bind with charged tRNA. For prokaryote, this 30S mRNA plus formulated the tRNA molecule and they join, they form 30S mRNA and formulated methionine tRNA. So similarly in eukaryote also, like 40S mRNA plus tRNA. tRNA is this is a methylated one, not formulated, right? And they form 40S mRNA and methylated tRNA complex. So methylated tRNA complex, right? So once this 30S small subunit mRNA and tRNA complex formed, then large subunit go and bind and they form complete initiation complex. So after this, what will happen? Among with this, the large subunit. Here is 50S large subunit. Here is 60S large subunit. They go and bind and they form complete initiation complex. So after the charged, okay. So they form complete initiation complex, right? So complete initiation complex will be formed here, right? See, chain elongation, right? How the polypeptide chain. Now the translation initiation complex is formed. Now the process of translation began. Now we'll see the process how it is elongated. And before going to see the translational elongation process, we will see the translational unit. Actually, translation unit mRNA. It is a sequence of mRNA that is flanked by the start codon and stop codon and codon which code for polypeptide chain. Okay, you see here. So the start with the translational unit of mRNA start with start codon and end with the stop codon. Actually, either stop codon is either UUA, actually UAA or UAG or UGA. So it's terminated with any one of these stop codon and flanked by sequence which code for the proteins in this protein polypeptide like this. So like this sequence are there, right? So here beginning with start codon and ended with terminated codon, right? And also the translation unit in mRNA also has some additional sequence at both ends. Both actually the direction of the template strand is start from 5' to 3'. Here this is 3', and also it contains some additional sequence both end. So like a 5' and also contains some additional sequence, and also the 3' and also contain some additional sequence. This additional sequence name is called, you can call it as UTR. So UTR na untranslated region. In a translation unit of mRNA has additional sequence at both end, both 5' as well as 3' end. That sequence are not translated. That sequence we are calling as untranslated regions. Because these sequences are not translated, but they are required for efficient translation process. And the process of translation is catalyzed by one enzyme. The enzyme name is called peptidyl transferase. And here peptidyl transferase is a type of, it's a ribosome. It's a ribosine. It's the type of rRNA which acts as a enzyme. That's why we are saying that peptidyl transferase. The process of translation is catalyzed by peptidyl transferase. It's a type of ribosome. This one, which rRNA acts as a peptidyl transferase na? In prokaryote 23S rRNA acts as a peptidyl transferase, whereas eukaryote 28S rRNA. We studied there are different type of rRNA found in prokaryote, eukaryote. But prokaryote, the 23S rRNA of ribosome acts as a peptidyl transferase, whereas in eukaryote 28S rRNA of ribosome acts as a peptidyl transferase. These enzyme only which catalyze the reaction. Okay. So now we will see the process, the chain elongation here. So elongation process, how the polypeptide chain is synthesized. Chain elongation. Okay, see, first the which subunit will go and bind? Binding of first small subunit, mRNA. Then large subunit. Okay, you see here, first the small subunit of ribosome, that's binding. This is a SSU, small subunit of ribosome. Then the large subunit will bind here. At initiator side, they will bind. And once it binded here, so after formation of the first small subunit binding with mRNA and the large subunit, then it bind with charged tRNA, they form initiation complex. Once the complete ribosome, mRNA and tRNA complex is formed, like you see, the first tRNA is the initiator tRNA. It has anticodon like this. The start codon is AUG. The anticodon of this particular tRNA is UAC. This is the anticodon loop of tRNA. So just tRNA I am writing like this. You can imagine this is a tRNA. This tRNA which carry methionine amino acid. In eukaryote methionine, in prokaryote formulated methionine. Okay, it pair with the codon of the mRNA molecule. This is a tRNA. This one is large subunit of ribosome, right? Large subunit of ribosome. This small subunit. Okay, see here in this complex, the small subunit of ribosome is the large subunit of ribosome, mRNA and a charged tRNA molecule, initiator tRNA molecule. they are forming complete translation, the initiation complex. So once after formation of the complete ribosomal complex, the translation process will begin or initiated. So after binding, so immediately what will happen is, so next to tRNA, so the tRNA is found in P site, and next to this the tRNA, what will happen is the amino acid acceptor site is established next to the P site of the ribosome. Now this tRNA found at the P site. So now what will happen is, next to this P site will be another one site is established in the large subunit of ribosome. That site we are calling as A site here. Here A site is established. So amino acid acceptor site. So that is established next to the P site. Now, so why it established? It exposes mRNA codon next to the initiation codon. What will happen is, depends on this the codon which found in the codon of mRNA, the new tRNA with corresponding anticodon come and bind here, come and bind at the A site. Are you clear with this? So after binding, now initiated tRNA is where it's present at P site. So once the complete complex, the formation is completed, the translation process will begin. So what will happen is, after formation of complete ribosome, mRNA, tRNA complex, and amino acid acceptor site is established next to the P site. This is a P site. Now the A site is established here. So why A site is established now? Which expose the codon, the next codon to the initiator. This is an initiator. Next codon is there. Now the next codon of mRNA is now exposed. So that new amino acid tRNA complex reaches the A sites and they form codon anticodon binding. So now you see here UAC is there, and another codon UAC now which code for the which amino acids which code na UAC UAC which code for tyrosine, right? And for this corresponding the tRNA with anticodons are A, U, G. So which carry tyrosine amino acid. These tRNA first come and bind with the, next they will bind with the, so A site. So this tRNA, like you see here, so this tRNA, this anticodon, AG anticodon for UAC of mRNA. This tRNA come and bind here, A, U, G, and they bind with this codon anticodon, both are binding. This is another tRNA, okay, another tRNA, right? So here what amino acid is there? Which carry what amino acid? Tyrosine amino acid here, tyrosine, right? Tyrosine amino acid, right? Tyrosine amino acid. After binding up, so the new tRNA next to initiator codon, then the enzyme which catalyzes the enzyme, what will happen is, so after binding on the enzyme create peptide bond between these two amino acids. Like you see here methionine is there, here tyrosine is there. The enzyme peptidyl transferase, they create the peptide bond between amino and the carboxyl group of these two amino acids. Like the carboxyl group of the first initiator amino acid and the amino group of next amino acid. Are you getting my points? So after binding up the new tRNA next to the initiator codon, so now both are binded here. This tRNA is where it present at P site. This tRNA where it binded at A site. So now what will happen is, a peptide bond is formed between carboxyl group of first amino acid. Here first amino acid methionine and amino group of the second amino acid. And who will create this peptide bond? Peptidyl transferase enzyme. How it creating? Okay, see here. I'm just writing here. The carboxyl group is there. Methionine amino acid. Methionine amino acid. This amino acid is the first amino acid. Here carboxyl group is there. And amino group of next amino acid. So next amino acid here is tyrosine. So now this both amino acids are joined like this, methionine and amino acid C double bond O and N H and tyrosine amino acid. So now both amino acids are joined by peptide bond. This bond is peptide bond. This bond is peptide bond. The enzyme which catalyzes the formation of peptide bond between these two amino acids are peptidyl transferase. Peptidyl transferase. Actually, it's a type of ribosome. Prokaryote is a 23S rRNA, whereas eukaryote it is a 28S rRNA. So this enzyme which catalyzes the formation of peptide bond between the amino acid. Like this, now these two amino acids are joined here. By through peptide bond, the first amino acid is joined with the second amino acid. Once the peptide bond is established, and this process requires GTP, very important one. So this process requires the GTP as an energy source. So once the peptide bond is established, then what will happen is, that process, okay, the tRNA, the ribosome complex start to move forward from here to here. So once the peptide bond is created, then this mRNA molecule, so the ribosome complex start to move forwards, next like this. In this direction it will move. The small subunit, everything will move from here to here, right? Next codon, like this it will move, small subunit, and here large subunit, right? So large subunit. Now this tRNA moved from A side to P side, but already the tRNA which present in P sites and they exit from the translation machinery. So this through exit side, this tRNA is removed here. It will come out and go back to the cytoplasm, right? UAC. So this become, so after the addition of this amino acid, and this RNA become uncharged or deacylated. The deacylated, this tRNA from P side removed from the translation machinery and go back to the cytoplasm. This tRNA go back to the cytoplasm. Now you can see this tRNA from A side moved to P side. Now it creating now A side is free here. A side is free. So this process of movement only you can call it as translocation. So the translocation is the movement of ribosome on mRNA. So now A site is free. Another tRNA molecule will come here. Like you see, U codons are there. The corresponding the tRNA is how the anticodon look A. U now which code for phenylalanine. So this tRNA will come and bind here. So at the A site of this ribosome complex, like A, this is anticodon which carry respective the amino acid here. Here amino acid is phenylalanine. Similarly, and then the peptidyl transferase which catalyzes the peptide bond between existing peptide. The already existing peptide is there, and they create this peptide bond between this peptide and this amino acid, right? And once the peptide bond is created here, and this tRNA also will come out and go back to the cytoplasm. This become uncharged, right? And again what will happen here, you can see here. Now ribosome complex moving forward. So moving forward like this. Ribosome complex move like this. So this tRNA moved from A side to P side. Again A side is now free. And another tRNA will come. GUG meaning is here the anticodon is CAC. So GUG which code for glycine, right? Glycine amino acid. This tRNA with the glycine amino acid will come and bind here. CAC. binding which carry glycine amino acid. And again the peptide bond is formed between this, like that it will move. It will move, and this tRNA also removed from here. tRNA removed. Now the ribosome complex is moved to next side. Right? And here you can see here, and next moving here the UAA is there. But there is no tRNA for this stop codon. Stop codon. The tRNA only for coding sequence alone they are having tRNA molecule. There is no tRNA and with anticodon for stop codon. So that up to this the process will stop. Because the ribosome complex unable to move further or beyond this stop codon. Up to this the process will stop. Right? Then the chain termination will begin. Right? So next we will see the termination of polypeptide chain. How the polypeptide chain is terminated. Termination of polypeptide chain. So the termination of polypeptide is signaled by one of the three termination codon, either UAA, UGA or UAG. Actually the termination here the group of protein factors are involved. That together you can call it as termination factor, and also we are calling as releasing factor also, the protein factors. So these protein factor, like in a eukaryote, so like a prokaryote you can say it RF1, RF2, RF3. Eukaryote ERF1, ERF2 and RF3. This protein factor go and bind with this complex and they dissolve this ribosomal complex. They dissolve this ribosomal complex and release the complete polypeptide and ribosome. Okay. So after binding this, what will happen is the newly synthesized here the polypeptide is released from here. This is a polypeptide. And this ribosome complex also dissociate from each other. They go back to the cytoplasm again, like large subunit and small subunit. They go back to the cytoplasm. Go back to the cytoplasm. So, like the chain termination, once the ribosomal complex reaches the termination codon, because the process of translation is terminated by any one of the three termination codon, UAA, UAG, UGA. So here the group of proteins are involved in termination of translation process. So that factors together you can call it as releasing factor. In prokaryote it called as RF1, RF2, RF3. Eukaryote called as ERF1 and RF2, RF3 like that. So this protein factor go and bind with the complex, ribosomal complex, and release the polypeptide separately. And also after that, once the process is terminated, the ribosome complex that dissociate, the both subunit dissociate and go back to the cytoplasm. Okay. So now this polypeptide exported from rough endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi complex for further processing, and then the proteins are processed and packed, released by the Golgi complex. I hope that you understood the mechanism of translation process, right? So translation process, up to this I will end up this video and we will continue in next topic.